Now in this simple application that we have created earlier, calculate net profit, okay, we have introduced the concept of variables, okay, which is sales variable, cost variable, and the profit variable. So remember that variables are used to store data, okay. For example, this sales variable is used to store the user input of sales, similarly cost, and then variables can also store data from other variables. For example, we have the sales minus cost variable, and then the values will be assigned to the profit variable. Okay, now variables, they have several types. Okay, now variables have data types. Now what I mean is we know that there are numbers, we know that there are characters, okay, we know that there are true or false values. So all these are different data types. Okay. Similarly, in programming, we can use data types to store our variables, and this is actually good practice. For example, in this code over here, now the sales and the cost variable, they are actually numbers. Okay, now for numbers, we usually represent them, okay, by things like, okay, integer, okay, or long. Okay, integer or long. Both actually can store numbers, but long can just store a bigger range of numbers, but it does consume more memory though. Okay, so if you don't need to contain such a big number, just use integer. So now I want to explicitly, it's good practice to explicitly declare the data type of variable. To do that, you can say dim, okay, sales. Now dim a just means that I'm declaring a variable. It's called sales. Now s, okay, as what? Sn. Now you then see a pop-up integer. Okay, you see that it appears here. Okay, I'll do the same for cost. So dim cost as integer. Okay, and because I know profit is also an integer, I'll do this. Dim profit as integer. Okay, and then I can output. Okay, let me try running the program again. So let's say 100, and then okay, cost will be, let's say 20.5 though. Then okay, now profit is 80. Now take note that what we have, the sales is 100, but the cost is 20.5, yet the result is 80. Okay, so there's actually a shortfall of 0.5. Okay, now the reason for this is because we have declared them as an integer variable. Okay, now what we can do is we can change this. Now integers, we know they don't store floating points, or they don't store decimal places. So we can change them as double, okay, which store floating points. Change this to double. Okay, let's try again. So 100 cells minus 20.5 equals 79.5. Yay, there we have it. Okay, so the reason why we're able to do this now is because we have changed the data type of the variable. Okay, so you have learned the data type integer, long, and also double, which is used to store our figures with decimal places. Okay, and of course, we have often need to show strings. Okay, strings are things like words. For example, when we do a message box, hello world, this is actually a string. So another type. Okay, let me just do this. So data types, they include integer, long, double, and also strings. Okay, and also strings, and also boolean. Okay, now boolean variables are simply true or false values. Alright, okay, so how to decide which data type to use? To answer this question, you might just ask yourself, what kind of data are you storing? If it's a number, then it might be integer. If it's a number with decimal places, then it might be a double. Okay, or if it's just like words, then it will be a string. Or if it's just a true or false value, then it will be a boolean. So this is a simple introduction to variables. In the coming examples, we show you how to use when, integer, double, string, boolean.